Hello and welcome back to Talk of the Traitors. I'm Benedict Townsend.
And I'm Hannah Townsend, and it's just started raining.
It's quite cozy out there. This is now an ASMR podcast.
I never know how much preamble and tidbits about our life people want to hear before we launch into Traitors. There is a comment that I have thought about. I would say 4 times a day, every day since it's been posted. It just comes into my brain. We ranked our 2025 films of the year. And this comment said, wow, these two yap a lot. We just want to hear the rankings.
Yeah, it was like, we don't want to hear why you picked the films. We just want to hear the ranking. And it's such a weird thing because it's like, I really care about your opinion, but I don't want to know any details
I don't
about
want to know why that's your opinion. And I've thought about it so often because I'm like, I can't imagine being really invested in knowing someone's number but not knowing why.
I know. Surely the why is more interesting.
Right?
They're like, as if you'd be so arrogant to think that I care about your opinions. I have to know your ranking, though.
Please, just tell me the ranking. When can we get to the fireworks factory in a very Simpsons-coded way?
Thank you very much. I appreciated that. So this was you know how in every series of the Traitors there's a Harriet episode? The whole episode's about Harriet. And we were like, when's it going to be the Harriet episode? This was the Harriet episode.
Yes.
We basically had a main character...
Yeah.
Who had 100% of screen time. I don't think Jesse appeared on screen. Jade was barely in this episode.
It was quite a way to go down with the ship, if you will, because it was all about Harriet.
I mean, let's just get into it from the beginning, shall we? Because it's an almost biblical example of someone completely overplaying their hand. At the beginning of the episode, when she was talking to the traitors, I thought, she has played a blinder. And I cannot believe how she managed to completely unwind all of her work by the end of the episode to the point of getting banished.
Tonight, we saw the return of a slightly vicious, maybe a little bit mean traitors, which is interesting. The celebrity version managed to go the whole run without it ever really crossing over into mean.
Yep.
Whereas tonight... things did feel pretty loaded at times.
It got a little mean. Harriet was kind of mean, the sarcastic clapping at one point.
Yes.
And she didn't need to be doing that. That's what was so weird.
Because on one hand, she understood it was a game. She said that. But on the other hand, it felt very emotional and loaded. And I wonder why. Is the celebrities, one, because they're media trained, and two, because they're not really winning money for themselves? Is that why it doesn't cross into that territory? What is it about kind of this version of the Traitors? Because Harriet didn't mind going, as we saw.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the wildest things to me about Harriet leaving was that I was sat there and I was like, you know that there's prize money on this show?
Yes.
You know you're on this show to potentially win a lot of money. She was going down with the ship. She was sacrificing herself in this way of but this is totally... Imagine explaining this to someone outside the game.
Yeah.
You come home to your family and they go, did you win Traitors? I didn't. But you know what? I gave them all the clues to get Rachel. And they'd be like, who the hell is Rachel? Why did you sacrifice everything for this?
Who's Emma?
Yeah.
He's going to sacrifice himself. So many vocal stems come to mind on this one.
Truly.
I don't think people are going to like Harriet sacrificing herself in this way. There are people who would give everything to play this game once, right? Thousands of applicants. There was also money on the line, which... didn't seem to play a part in, maybe it wouldn't have changed her life, but didn't seem to play a part in her decision, even 1%, that they were, competing for money.
Well, I mean, she's a successful author and former barrister. I don't want to speculate, but she's probably pretty good for money.
She might be a little flush.
Yeah, and at that point, you can just play for the sake of the game. But also, it's this weird thing that she was playing that they sometimes play sometimes, which is that, being a traitor is, morally evil. Or, we have to take them down. And it's no, but, it is a game and, the faithfuls hate the traitors, quote unquote, but it's all fun and games. They're not actually murdering these people.
No.
It's not real.
But, I mean, when Rachel was like, can we have a word? And she was like, I have nothing to say to you. I mean, there could be a compilation of all of the lines Harriet said this episode. I mean, they were...
I mean, me and you were just sat making notes frantically. She kept saying, I bet you wish you'd killed me when you had the chance, which went hard at the time, but then you voluntarily sacrificed yourself, so you are dead now.
One of the key ones, if my voice is shaking, it's not through nerves, it's through anger that you've taken me for such a fool. Again, let's just dissect that. What? She was so angry as if someone had been murdered. And in what ways have they taken her specifically for a fool? They've just played the game.
Yes, and I'm gotta say, reviewing this episode, I would call her gameplay somewhat foolish. She asked to get banished, and then she was. Somewhat of a foolish move. Do you think it's that she really thought of Rachel as a friend, and then when she came to the conclusion that she was a traitor, she felt betrayed by
But
that?
she said all from the beginning, I knew you were a traitor. So that didn't, the math ain't mathin'.
I'll move away from the mic when I say this. Cats among the pigeons, Roxy!
Again, that one felt a bit mean.
But she was being a bit mean to Roxy. Because Roxy was sort of trying to hear both sides. And again, like, you know, we know who the traitors are. So we're like, no, Harriet's right. But they don't know. Harriet doesn't even really know. I think she was a little bit doubting herself. I think she went really hard for Rachel. And then she was a bit like, oh, God, have I messed this up?
I think it's a bit annoying that Harriet didn't even try 1% to save herself. She was kind of gleeful in that, like, it's going to be a ha-ha moment to you guys and I'm going to get to stand up there and say that I were faithful. Like, she was so excited around that table. And maybe she got to a point where she just wanted to tap out of the game. We weren't in her shoes, but I didn't love watching it.
Also, if you're a smart player, you've got to recognize that this strategy they keep trying of like, I'm accusing this person. If you put me out and I'm faithful, it will implicate that person. It
Still
never
no.
works.
Still no.
She put all the evidence up for Rachel. She was faithful. And then they all went, I think it's probably Matt. It's just like...
Also, we saw it with Amanda and Jade. Both thought each other were traitors.
Yeah.
Both were like, if it's not me, it's her. It was... Spoiler, it was neither of them. The Stephen redemption arc needs to be studied. That man has more lives than something that has a lot of lives. What is the saying?
Cats have 9 lives.
So many lives.
So many lives. Apart from having the deepest V-neck in the game, Stephen, there's nothing he can do to get banished. I think because he's doing the thing that Wilf did, and I guess that Alan Carr did, of he's just so panicked all the time that I guess he never seems suspicious because he always seems so stressed, probably because he's stressed from being a traitor.
But I don't think he comes across to them as panicked. Like, we see him looking and feeling very stressed, but I would say that's in the quiet moments. Like when him and Rachel had to do the secret challenge, he was stressed, but I actually think he comes across as just like, oh.
I don't know, his resting face is always a bit startled. He's always like, oh, like you've just put a bright light at him. Like,
Yeah.
We're miming chewing our nails. His knees are always a knocking.
The turnaround, though, to go from his name was coming up left, right, and centre, right? They were so certain on him that the walls were closing in on all the theories that put him as a traitor, to now be the one going round the circles, checking if Rachel's all right. I mean, it's a work of art.
But it's like, is it to his credit? I feel like it just, things happen around him.
No, I don't know. I feel like someone else has made the work of art and he's been brought in and they're like, Stephen made this. And it's like, well done, Stephen.
Oh, what? You know, when a kid turns up with an amazing project.
Yes.
And on Monday morning in school, and you're like, no child could do this much paper mache.
Yeah.
Their parents must be an architect.
Yes.
He didn't make this volcano.
Yeah.
Well, it's like him, the whole library thing. You know, Fiona completely vindicating him by accident from the library thing. Because where's Jessie? Jessie was all on him. We saw nothing of Jessie this episode. I guess because of Harriet.
Matt impressed me tonight when he went round the group and said how everyone has voted.
Yes.
Because they must have to be at the round table, everyone votes. You then have to lock all of those votes in your head. And the first chance you get to physically write them down must be like 4-6 hours later when you're back in the hotel room with a paper and pen, because we know they do get paper and pens, but you have to go through the drinks.
Yeah.
Is that not incredible? How many people do you think could remember all of it? It's like when someone comes to your table and then doesn't use a pen and paper to write down your order, and then sometimes, not always, sometimes all of the order is wrong, and you think...
But also, like, however much it's supposedly impressive you can do that does not outweigh the fact that I am stressed from the second you take the order to the second the order arrives, because I'm just thinking they're probably statistically going to get that wrong. I'm so much more impressed when a waiter just has a little pad.
I understand, but from a memory point of view, it's a good challenge for them if they're good at it. And Matt, apparently very good at memory.
I was going to say, you know, at the beginning of the episode, I said, wow, you know, who put 50p in Matt? You know, because he was, but then of course someone put £5 million Townsend Harriet, so it kind of distracted from the whole thing. You know who I like? I like James.
I like James too.
I think he's a good soul. It's funny when he took the shield. There was a bit where someone walked in the room and James said something, and for a second I thought they'd added voiceover to the show because he's got such a BB. And here comes Jade. Kind of like a kind of Holmes under the hammer kind of voice.
I knew you were good. That's what he said when Rachel revealed her FBI status.
Oh my God, we've got to talk about that. One of the lamest reveals in Traitors history.
When Rachel said, I've got a secret, what did you think that secret would be?
I thought it was going to be some kind of family reveal or this person. It can't be, Harriet, you're my sister. How could you be doing that? Something like that. I'd actually forgotten that she'd already told us, the audience, about the FBI thing. And when she dropped the, I've been trained by the FBI, I was rolling my eyes. That's so lame.
It would actually be so funny if you're on Traitors and you felt like you're on a sinking ship tonight, like Harriet, and she was like, I've got a reveal, and was like, Rachel's my sister. And it just wasn't true. And Rachel would be like, no, that's not true. And you'd be like, we are sisters.
She's my mother.
I think that would be so fun. And in terms of like, you know,
this
Harriet,
is my grandmother.
That's what Harriet should have done. She was sacrificing herself for some unknown reason, but she also should have said she was like related to someone as a fun way to go out.
You make a joke, but people could just lie. You could say, I used to be a police officer.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the rules that says you're not allowed to pretend? I mean, obviously it's illegal to pretend to be a police officer. But can't you just like say, like, I was a firefighter for 50 years. Can you not just say that?
Well, you know, Leanne said she was a nail tech and she was in the army. I mean, people do and have lied.
But people only lie to deflate their positions. I want to get on Traitors, get pretty far and be like, I was British Prime Minister for 6 decades. Don't you remember?
No, you've got to go to something like I studied. Well, the problem is if anyone asked you about it, if I said I studied like neuroscience and someone asked me about, you know, metals.
You know, you go, I was in the intelligence services. And they go, what do you do? And you go, that's classified.
Oh.
That's classified. Anything they ask you, that's classified.
I was talking about lying earlier because there was that like age that we were all at where it was just really fun to lie. Like on nights
26.
out. On nights out and stuff. I remember my lie was always that I was in Mensa. And
that's such a small scale lie.
And my friend's lie was always that she was Keira Knightley's sister.
That's a good lie.
Yeah, because she looked like Keira Knightley, so we just used to tell everyone. I'm going to do a couple of Traitors Awards today. Number one, that was the worst challenge we've seen. However, people will remember it as a fun challenge because there was the shield drama at the end, which made it seem fun. But the actual logistics, it was dull.
Yes, we should come back to the challenge in a minute after we finished your awards and really deep dive into just how much it sucked. But I'll agree, it was saved at the end. So it gets an award?
It gets an award. My second award goes to Rachel for the worst lies.
Oh my God. Wait, I wrote this down. By the way, she had so much time.
I know.
She had all night. I asked them to describe their game plan, and their answer was murder and lie. Sorry, that's the kind of thing you would make up if you'd never watched Traitors.
But she said, I asked them to plan their game plan from week 1, which I think is like a tactic, probably in her FBI training, she learned this, that people do where you have to add like an extra bit of detail. So people are like, it must be true.
I guess.
I was the FBI agent who trained her. I'm going to be awarding James the Sweetness Award because I think taking the shield and then being very stressed being caught out in a lie, and I feel like he was really like upset.
Yeah,
was incredibly sweet, and I also loved he was the only person even mildly impressed by the FBI reveal.
Wow. I love him not being able to lie and being like, sorry guys, my bad liar, it was me that took the shield, and the other two being like, we know. It's so funny. I'd like to do the Tuppence Award to Matt for using the phrase, I'll add my tuppence.
Is that even a saying?
Yeah, they were like, what happened to you, Matt, when you spoke to Traitors? He said, well, I'll add my tuppence. Which I thought was very funny.
I'm going to award Harriet the Detrimental Faithful Award. She was right about one, but her saying she thinks there are 5 traitors in the mix.
So funny.
That would nearly be the majority of people.
Also, not to do the like breaking the game, like this is when has there ever been more than 3?
Yeah.
Like we know how this game works. There's always 3, sometimes temporarily 2. There's always 3.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they'll talk of it, maybe there's more. It's like, no, there's never more. There's never been 5 traitors, as far as I know. Because also that would completely break the game. It would just be all traitors.
That was the point where I was like, she's lost all credibility.
But also, it's like real stopped clock is right twice a day.
Yes.
I'm like, you're so correct about Rachel, but then every other theory you have is insane.
You're right. If she thinks there are 5 and she's throwing out all these names, actually, is it just like, yeah, well, one of them is going to be?
Was that the worst challenge in Traitors history?
I think so. Obviously, the drama with the shield, they were very lucky that happened, but they'd kind of given up filming them going to get the statues and going back. It also was, you know, a very physical challenge, which isn't always fair, equally fair on, you know, age and ability. And it was just a bit boring. I mean, kind of cool when the fountain went red.
I just, you know, we have joked that every single challenge this season has been go into the forest and
Yeah.
get something. And I've been saying that as a
Honestly.
joke. When she literally, Claudia stood up and went, so you'll be going into the forest to get coins or whatever. I was like, come on. It's never interesting to watch. They, you know, we always joke as well that these challenges are always needlessly convoluted. This one was so convoluted. It was like you get the shield, the coins are shields that are cherubs, but the coins deduct money. And it's like, who cares?
You know who they need to take a tuppence out of? Squid Game The Challenge.
Yes.
Those challenges are, as named in the show, so exciting to watch and
Yes.
and fairly simple. They have the more, you know, expansive like snakes and ladders, which obviously takes a lot. But some of them are just, you know, the marbles and things, and you could be competing for shields or
Yeah.
money. Like they make things the catch game
Yeah.
so fun to watch.
So fun when they were like throwing a ball. You basically just can't drop a ball. But they made it so thrilling. One of the problems with this game, it's so funny because I love this show. It's like
Yeah.
my favorite show on TV. And yet the whole middle section of it is always like a bit questionable. The money element of this show, there should just be a fixed prize pot. Because Claudia said at one point today, she was like, this is an all or nothing challenge. I'm like, when do they ever get nothing?
No, exactly.
For a challenge. You can't have them just getting to the end and they never won any money. They have to build a prize pot. Okay, there was the fun twist today that it wasn't as much money as they thought because people had taken shields. But like, I don't know, the money, you know they're going to get to the end of the show and there's going to be roughly 100 grand. There's no intrigue in trying to build the prize pot.
Well, we shall see what happens next. I think maybe tomorrow or the next day we're going to have to do our predictions for the final. So lock in for that. Also, I just got to put it out there. Benedict and I have been playing non-stop Fleet Battle, which is a battleships game.
Is that what it's called? I don't even know the name of it.
And it is, when I tell you, extraordinary. So if you are looking, we are like addicted to playing it. The other night, I think we were playing it in bed at like nearly 2 a.m. And I was like, we have to sleep.
Hannah turned to me on Christmas Eve and she said, you know what I've not played in years? Battleships. And I was like, what a random thought. And then we just went on the App Store and found the first free Battleships one we could find. And you can play it completely free.
Yeah, we're not associated with this game at all. But if
No.
you want a ride of your life, if you want something that's way more entertaining than those challenges, Fleet Battle.
And it's Fleet Battle if you want to sponsor us.
Yeah.
That would be a mad sponsor. I think it's German or something.
Is
like
it?
I don't know, yeah.
The ocean is a harsh mistress.
It's got these really funny voiceover lines. where it
Yeah,
goes-
don't shoot the fish.
They're obviously meant to be quite dramatic lines for like when you hit someone's ship, but the actor's got them all weird. He goes like, see you on the ocean floor.
Anyway, if you play it, comment and let us know.
Comment, you sunk my battleship. Thank you so much, by the way, to everyone who's been listening and watching our video episodes on Spotify and YouTube. If you haven't already, please follow us on Spotify or YouTube or wherever. It really helps the show. And also it means you'll get new episodes first.
Wow, so a benefit to you and to us.
I guess everybody wins, Hannah.
I like that math.
Unfortunately, everyone who follows us, it does reduce £1,000 from the prize pot that we've been building. But you do get a shield. In the words of Ellie, it doesn't feel like it's Rachel. So thanks for that, Ellie.